Have you ever spent 30 years running toward a place, only to end up back where you started, and call that the reinvention? He's 83, Wellington boots, a hawthorn hedge in East Yorkshire. It's April, it's raining, the kind of grey that doesn't move all day. He's got an iPad propped against his forearm. He's looking, really looking, at a blossom nobody else stopped for. He's not hiding from the weather, he's painting it. I keep thinking about that image, because most of us assume the place we ran to was the point. It rarely is. He was born in 1937 in Bradford, industrial, working class, the kind of grey that gets into the stone. From the time he was a boy, he was told the one thing he was good at, looking. He could draw before he could really write. But he learned to look in a place with almost nothing left to look at, and in a country where loving another man was still a crime. So, before he'd ever set foot in Los Angeles, he already knew what he pictured there, warmth in every sense. He'd later call it the most Mediterranean city in America. Not New York's tension, just sun and a slower pace. He grew up believing seeing was his whole gift, and that Bradford was the wrong place, in every way, to use it. I wonder how many people watching this learned the same lesson early on, that the thing you're best at, and the person you actually are, only really count somewhere else. So he left, landed in LA in his mid-20s, and the color hit him like a held breath, finally let out. Pools, palm trees, that flat Mediterranean light he'd been picturing from 6,000 miles away. He painted the splash before it even landed. He painted men he loved, in the open, at a time that took real nerve. Within a decade, he was one of the most famous living painters in the world. But underneath the pools and the freedom, the undertow from Bradford never left him. He'd talk about talent, then immediately correct himself. Talent isn't enough, he'd say. You have to work. He wasn't the hedonist his life looked like from the outside. He was a laborer who happened finally to also be free. Late in life, back in Yorkshire, people assumed it was retreat. He didn't see it that way. Critics had already decided landscape painting was finished, nothing left to say there. But he thought the problem was never the landscape. It was that people had stopped looking closely enough to see anything new in it. That was his real distinction. It took 60 years and a return trip back home to earn it. There's no such thing as a place with nothing in it. There's only a place nobody's looked at properly yet. Back to the hedge, the rain, the iPad. Same posture as the beginning. But it's not retreat this time. It's not nostalgia either. It's the same trained, relentless attention, finally turned on the place it started. He's not escaping Bradford's grey anymore. He's proving the grey was never really the problem. The looking was. Spring 2020, alone in Normandy during lockdown, he made over 100 iPad drawings of the season arriving, hawthorn, daffodils, one bare tree after another coming into leaf. He sent them out with a message that was almost stubbornly simple. They can't cancel spring. 4 years later, at 85, he put digital work on the Glastonbury Pyramid stage. He worked until the year he died, at 88, still in the boots, still smoking, unapologetic to the end. He spent his whole life being told the light was somewhere else. It wasn't. It was always just a matter of how hard you were willing to look.